Tennis was first adapted to be used for blind and partially sighted people in Japan in 1984. Currently, it is played in over 30 countries. This version of tennis is for blind people, who are classified as B1 players, and partially sighted people. The classification for partially sighted people ranges from B2 to B5, depending on their level of sight loss. This game is adapted from the full court version to a smaller court, with lower nets and the use of an audible ball so that players can hear it bounce and being hit. Depending on an individual's sight level, they may have up to 3 bounces of the ball before they must return it back to their opponent. The B1 category ranges from people with no light perception in either eye up to people with light perception but the inability to recognize shapes at any distance or in any direction. Both the B2 and B3 categories involve a low level of usable partial vision. Those in the B3 category will be able to see more than those graded as B2. The B4 category refers to people with a good level of partial sight. Anyone with more than roughly 25% of normal vision is likely to be two-sighted for this category. The B5 category is also referred to as B4+. There is no maximum in this category. In the B1 court, there will be tactile markings on all lines except the service box line. These lines need to be marked out by tape unless the court lines are already visible. The tactile tram lines should extend past the baseline. With singles, the court is 12.8 meters by 6.1 meters. The service line is 1.8 meters from the baseline, and the net height is 0.83 meters. With doubles, the court is 12.8 meters by 8.23 meters. The service line is 1.8 from the baseline, and the net height is 0.83 meters. In the visually impaired B2 to B5 court, it is not a requirement to apply tactile markings for the court, but extra wide tape may be preferred for greater visibility if tactile markings aren't used. With singles, the court is 18.28 meters by 8.23 meters. The service line is the same as the full court, and the net height is 0.914 meters. With doubles, the court is 18.28 meters by 10.97 meters. The service line is the same as the full court, and the net height is 0.914 meters. Players in the B1 and B2 categories are allowed up to 3 bounces. Players in the B3 category are allowed up to 2 bounces, and players in the B4 and B5 categories are allowed 1 bounce. Volleying is permitted for all players, and all players must use the ready, yes, play procedure. In visually impaired tennis, players can use an audible ball. These are made of yellow foam and they make a rattling sound. Any rackets can be used in visually impaired tennis, however, short tennis rackets are recommended. You should also consider color contrast for the clothing that players and coaches wear on the court. For example, it may be best for players to wear lighter colored clothing if the court background is dark, or darker clothing if the background is light. Looking for equipment? Contact recreation@newglasgow.ca or 902-755-8363 for information on equipment loans.